Hi, I'm Jordan. That's me, and this is my educational autobiography. I grew up in a little place called Marysville. There's some things you should know about Marysville. It's predominantly white, and it's middle class. Now I say this because my experiences may be different than anyone else who grew up somewhere more diverse with multiple different cultures and creeds. Nevertheless, let's begin at elementary school. My elementary school was named Washington Elementary, named after this guy right here. You probably heard of him. Anyways, at Washington, I had a speech teacher, completely separate from my class, but she was probably the best teacher I ever had. Her name was Mrs. Sawdon. The reason I say that she was the best teacher I had is because she took a 4-year-old boy with no motivation to speak and turned him into somewhat of a social butterfly. And on top of that, she even taught me how to read in a speech class. She connected with me and really went above and beyond to make sure I was ready for the next grade, and she was not going to let me fall behind. Looking back, I see that she kind of made me feel like I was one of her children. That's how much she cared. But she did more than care about me. She exhibited all 5 C's in all of her lessons. Mrs. Sawdon was a real stand-up teacher, and she did everything she could in order to help me. That's how almost all of elementary school was, except for 5th grade. In 5th grade, due to unforeseen circumstances, I had to change schools from Washington Elementary to Morton Elementary. And I didn't like the change to Morton because I didn't like the school. And I didn't like the school because I didn't like the teachers. At Morton, I had 2 teachers. We'll say Mr. W and Mr. B. They were not good teachers, in my opinion, because they did not make me feel included. I was very much the new kid, and they perpetuated the cycle I was in. And for the whole year, it kept getting worse and worse and worse. Within the first month at Morton, I made friends with a kid who was intellectually impaired, and eventually Mr. W and Mr. B just had me work with him, and they did not give him any extra help. I felt like they just kind of forgot about me and him, and that's probably why we became good friends. I didn't become friends with him for recognition. I became friends with him because we shared interests, and I was trying to be a decent human. But I don't think Mr. W or Mr. B knew that, and they didn't look at me the same after that, and I felt betrayed for finding someone just like me. After Morton, I went to Marysville Middle School, and the teachers here were just kind of average. No one was really bad, but none of the teachers went above and beyond. Although this is where I met my band director, who would be my teacher for the next 7 years. My director's name was Mr. Dusso. He wasn't my most liked teacher, but he definitely was my most respected, because of the amount of time and effort he put into the band program. He definitely still sticks out in my head as one of those teachers who just never quits. Then I finally got to high school, and it was an amazing 4 years of my life. I met so many awesome teachers that helped me out so much, but there is one that I want to highlight. Her name is Mrs. Saha. Mrs. Saha was my world history teacher, and she is a big reason as to why I'm going into education. The way she taught her subject and kept the class engaged, it was an amazing sight to see, and it was always a pleasure to be in her class. If I needed help in class, of course she would help me, but what really set her apart from the other teachers is that she would help me with all sorts of things outside of school. Anytime I needed help with anything, she would happily sit down and help me out, and that meant the world. She was caring, committed, courageous, conscious, and centered in everything she did. I don't think Mrs. Saha or any of those teachers knew how much they affected me, but that's part of the reason I want to become a teacher. I want to be the Mrs. Saha. I want to be the Mrs. Sawdon. I want to help people learn and be passionate about things that they love. And that brings me to where I am now, at Central Michigan University. I'm pursuing my teaching degree because I want to make an impact on students' lives. I'm already passionate about my subject, but now I need to learn how to teach, and I can be as good as the teachers who had a positive impact on me. I'm so excited for my journey here, and as we say, fire up chips!